So let's move on to our next session. Every company, that one thing they've been meaning to fix, but never quite get to. Old systems, outdated processes, things that still work, but not the way they should. The challenge in doing it without breaking everything else. Our next session, which keynote titled Legacy Modernization, Turning Enterprise Risk into Controlled Agile Transformation. It's about how organizations are upgraded what exists, managing the risks, and still moving forward with speed and confidence. So please join me in welcoming our speaker, David Siegfried Isele, the Group President and CTO of Helvetic Mines and SwissShores LLC. He specializes in the large-scale monetization initiatives, including legal system replacement, data migration, AI-enabled automation, and regulated platform transformation. Hello.
Thank you.
You beat me to
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, so hello. You see, there is a nice presentation. Honestly, we will not walk through that presentation because it doesn't make sense. You will get the presentation after if you want. The event organizers will send it out. But I would not like to blast you away with a lot of technology and technical stuff and so on and so forth. I want to go in a discussion with you. So first of all, let's go for a language class. You know, probably some of you know me already. I'm from Switzerland. So what do we say in Switzerland for hello, good morning, and so on? Does anybody know? Beside you, you're from Switzerland, I know. So if we say hello, but during the day, in the morning, late, we have one word. It's grüezi. So that's why let's try to say, all of you, grüezi. Yeah. And if we, because we are a bigger audience here, we want to say grüezi to everybody. So we say grüezi miteinander. Grüezi miteinander. That means hello to all of you. So great. You see, on this event also you can learn something new. Yeah, so when we talk about legacy modernization, replacement of mainframes, this is not a hype topic. Everybody's talking about AI. Hey, this is fancy, this is cool, this is wow. This is blasting us into the new orbit. Yeah, in any time. You can do some potions. It's my opinion. You can do some potions in AI, which is wonderful. It's a wonderful tool. But if the foundation is not given for the data, if you don't have clean data, if you don't have clean processes, what will happen if you leverage bad data? What will happen? Does anybody know? Yeah, we name it pretty straight in Switzerland, shit in, shit out principle. If you have rotten data, if you have rotten processes, all of that, yeah. But this is not a bad meaning when I talk about legacy modernization or mainframe stuff. This is running since decades. So this is really old term, long running. The governments are running on that. All the backend systems, IBM made a shit amount of money the last, well, let me say 40, 50 years. And it's still good, robust, solid. Because the business process, the technical stuff, the infrastructure, all was in one bulk. And it is still. And mainly in all the regulated industries. We talk about financial service, health insurance, hospitals. In the back end, most of them, they are still running those massive big systems. And what we are doing the groundwork that on top you can put proper AI. So we are working on those old systems. And let me give you, oh, my watch is talking. I'm sorry. No, I don't want to listen to music now. Thank you. Yeah, but this is a good example. Sometimes those devices are doing whatever they want. I have not asked for. Anyway, yeah, so last project we did was an insurance project, big insurance company from Germany, 2.5 years project, only for 10% of the legacy modernization. And they have spent, with a team of 250 people, 65 million euros, so 70 million euros for that. And it was a success because on top of that, they could add now AI, digital processes, analysis, synchronizing between hospitals and health insurance processes, all of that. But anytime in life, companies must start on that because who knows what is the most popular coding language on mainframe? COBOL, correct. What is the average age of a COBOL developer? So I'm a young one. I'm in the middle of the 50s. So you see, the problem is that also the technology experience and knowledge is dying out because they get retired. We have a joke, you know, Swiss people like to have also sometimes black humor. So we have a joke. Where do you find COBOL developers? At the cemetery, either they are underground or they condolence. So, but saying that, let me give you a practical example. Who has rented a rental car here in Las Vegas from the airport? How was it? How was your experience? Not bad? My one was shit. I arrived Sunday. The plane was late. I arrived at the airport. I needed to queue for the bus. It has taken 45 minutes till a bus came. So you still say that's good? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I have not had a drink, so it was a shit process. So saying that, it has taken me 45 minutes for 8 minutes ride. Then I arrived at the rental car building. It has taken me 2 hours to get my car keys of a pre-booked, prepaid car. So in total, about 3 hours. My flight was 1 hour late, so in total I have lost 4 hours, and I was really not happy after a long haul flight from Europe. So, but why I'm telling you that? This is a classical business process. How would you like to put AI on top of that? How shall that work? If online booking, prepaid, all of that is not working yet. So we have to clean out, they have to clean out all those processes. It's not about the people working there at the counter. They did a great job. But there were only 2 because of cost reduction. 2 people for about 50 people queuing for a car. But I think everybody will understand based on that scenario. What does it mean to replace existing business processes, legacy systems, things like those? Because otherwise, we never will really arrive in the AI space. And my friend here from Switzerland, he has shown on the other presentation yesterday something about AI, what we can do. But really, you know, when the foundation is not given, it can't get better. And we want to improve all of that. And this is what we are doing mainly. So we look into those systems, we analyze those systems and try to figure out in which slices we can modify that, we can extract that, we can optimize that so that it is at the end on a new technology. Because as said a little while ago, you don't find anymore really a lot of those COBOL developers or assembler macro developers, which is the next level of missing people. So, and we tried in many projects. I'm doing that since 25 years about already. So we have tried with a lot of different AI tools. We have created own AI tools to analyze the code. But the difficulty is, I don't know if anybody knows assembler and assembler macros or COBOL language. To analyze that and to extract the business logic out of the code is almost impossible. So, yes? It's the language and it is the way of how you have coded in the past. You have enabled business processes in the code. Today, in today's development, you have business owners, you have product owners, you have people which understand the business but don't understand the technology, and you have coders. And they work together most times in an agile team, in a scrum team. So you have developers, you have QAs, you have all of that. Yesterday, at another session I was, anybody told me about, or was on the stage and saying QA. For sure, we can do code QA with AI, but if the business process is seamless, if the business process is as the client expects at the end, because all what we are doing is only to make the client happy, because then we get the money of the client. Pretty much simple. As more easy it's in the front end, it's more complicated it can get in the back end. And so that's why, to break it up, to figure it out, what is this part of software doing? It's a lot of analysis and activities. But saying that when we do that proper in a nice way of documentation as well, then we will succeed, and then it can be used. Then we can put all the data together in a data lake, in a Delta lake, and can extract it to analyze it. Because let me give you a practical example out of one. And insurance is always a good example. You know, if you have an insurance, you have a car insurance, you have a fire insurance, you have, I don't know, whatever insurance. People in Switzerland have about 3 times more insurance than they need. I know it by myself. And I don't know how it is in the US, but I think it's not really different. Perfect, yeah. So, and saying that, in the earlier days, those insurance companies were working in silos. So if you have had a car insurance, your data was stored here. If you have a health insurance, your data was stored there. And if you had some others, it was stored several times. So instead of they have, let me say, 5 million clients, the truth is perhaps 1.5 or 2 million clients. The other are doubled from the other areas in the same company. So if you want to clean out that data, you must enable your system that the systems can talk to each other. To explain it pretty simple, forget about the technical, because technology can be solved, we all know. But yes, saying that, this is the thing. And on a panel yesterday, I was saying, and this is why I have put this here on the highlight, we have to engineer the risk. We are in Vegas. Most of you like going for gambling. Why not? I like blackjack. Once in a while, it's nice to go for gambling. But if we talk about business, gambling is not acceptable, because you need to know how much it will cost you if it's not working. And then you can calculate, okay, I take this risk. Fair enough. The same with all these cybersecurity topics you have to touch in such a process. The rules, the regulations, all the stuff which any Europe, we have GDPR. Here in the US, you have a lot of others, but for US also you have to respect the GDPR if you have clients from Europe, and so on and so forth. All of that is a risk you need to calculate. You have to have the documentation on that. You need to be clear and transparent. And as I also was saying yesterday on a panel, in Switzerland, we have the mentality, the money we don't need to spend, we don't need to earn. So we can also optimize our profit in the way of reducing costs or risk, because risk is always an amount of money you have to have in your back pocket, because if it's upcoming, you must be able to pay it. Otherwise, your company is getting down. And for sure, most of us are talking to SME clients. Those projects which we are here doing mainly are for enterprise clients, governmental clients. But it doesn't matter. At the end, we are acting with people. At the end, there is an end client. And believe it or not, I had a also not so great experience getting my social security number here in the US. When I'm here in the US, I'm living in Florida. So I was thinking, hey, pretty cool, requesting an appointment online. What happened? I got an appointment to go to the office for requesting an appointment to getting an interview. Okay, was confusing to me, because in Switzerland, it's a little bit different. If you have a new employee, new hire, and this person has not a social security number, you can request it online. It takes you 30 seconds. Done. And it will be digitalized, processed. No complaining, no blaming. Don't get me wrong. But so I went to the second appointment. That second appointment was 9 weeks later because there was no other available in the availability of the authorities and in my flight schedule because I was back in Europe that time when the next was available. Long story short, I went to that place. I had all my documents on my iPad. The PDFs, the registration. Yeah, you're always, yeah, you're already confirming my story. Thank you. So, yeah, I went to that office, walked in. The first thing was what happened was a lady next to me came in with a water bottle. The security has sent her out with the water bottle. It's not allowed to have anything in the room, in the waiting room. Then, yeah, I was sitting there. I was figuring out how I get my appointment because my stupidity, sorry for that, I was expecting I had an appointment at 10:10. So I was expecting I get an appointment at 10:10 at the counter. No, I had to go to a machine and take the ticket. And so at the end, I had my appointment at 10:20. Why I'm so precise on that? I went to that, and the guy behind the counter told me, I need your printout of your confirmation of the appointment. And I said, I have it on the iPad. I can show you my iPad. No, I'm not allowed to take the number from the iPad. I need to have a printout. I said, really? So saying that, I asked him, where can I get a printout? Can I send it to you by email and you print it out? For sure, I will pay for it. Yeah, you know the story. We have not spoken about, but you're fully in that. Thank you. Yeah, so I asked for where can I print it out, and he said about 3 miles down the road there's a Staples. You can go there, but you have to be back in 25 minutes. Then my shift is done, and then your appointment is expired. So, and here is the case number. He has written it by hand on a yellow post-it paper. I said, give it to the security and tell the security that you will be returning. Otherwise, he has to decide if he will let you in again or not. So saying that again, did that. The security said, yeah, if you're back in 20 minutes, I let you in. Otherwise, not. Go for a new appointment. So I was driving down by hell, not watching for the police, went down, got a printout, drove back. Yeah, could get back to the counter, showed this, and really that guy only has taken the number which was written on the printout, which was 100% the same number which was shown on the iPad. And I got the things processed. And I said, okay, what's next? And he said, yeah, now we have all data in the system. You have confirmed. So your appointment today was only for confirming what you have entered in the system online. And in about 6 to 8 weeks, you get your social security number if we don't have additional questions. And yeah, I was lucky they haven't had additional questions. So after about 2 months, I got my social security number. But this is again something just to give you out of a real life example what legacy systems mean, what mainframe activities mean. And we have to clean that out. That's why I'm really happy when we can work on that. And after that, anybody else is doing the AI work on top. We are only preparing the foundation. Because I like technology, I'm really into technology. I'm really, I think, well aware of all the AI, but we don't do AI working in our company. This is what I decided for, because there are other companies which are much better on that. We have went to the gym the last 25 years to train our muscles on legacy modernization, on analyzing those, on preparing all of that. But there are much better companies which we are working with or handing it over. That's fine. But coming back to that, we have to engineer the risk. At the authorities, often they don't care because you have to wait. Differently in the private industry, because coming back again to the example of insurance, because they want to make revenue sales. If they can't deliver proper, they will not sell. The people will be unhappy there, and the clients will move to new online insurance companies because they don't have the history. They don't have an insurance history of the last 3-4 decades or more. So they can build the stuff new. If you are a new startup, if you are a new company, if you have the greenfield approach, you don't need us. Because you don't have the legacy systems in that instance. You don't have it in that scale. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of feeling on that. What does this mean? And also in the slides you can get after, I have brought in some numbers. What does it mean if a legacy system is not working for a day? For an insurance company, for a travel agency, for an airline. And you will see massive numbers, not only because the legacy is not working, the mainframe has a problem or so, also because of the fines. They have to, for example, a financial industry company has to report a technical issue. If this technical issue is longer than 4 hours, then it can start already with a fine. Parallel to that, if they have to trade on the market, they will lose some more money on the trading or whatever. So you see, and all those things you will find on the slides. But I was deciding and thinking, and I hope you like that I don't walk through the slides. I give you only the main page. But this is something, and that's why, and I really like that my marketing team has decided for the chessboard here as the logo. We have to strategic think about what is our approach, what is our need, and how do we execute it. And it has to be step by step. It can't be in a big bang. Honestly, I never have seen a big bang really working. Never, ever in my life. So you need to slice it in a logical way. And this is the hardest fight with the top management when you talk to the C-level people, because they want to have it modern. They always bring the buzzwords agile, blah, 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 blah. But they will still go for micromanagement. For what do I spend my money? What do I get out of the dollar? All that stuff. Yesterday, we had a nice conversation on stage about, what is the benefit to the client? Because we want to sell to the client. And if the client understands there is a benefit to him, he will stay with us. Honestly, I don't know how it is with you, but when I talk to clients, especially in the US, they ask me, what do I get out of a dollar? What is your hourly rate? We never go for hourly rates. We give a firm fixed price. We do an estimation and give a firm fixed price. But this is something we have to educate, especially purchase departments in the government, because they ask for hourly rates. But what is the result on that? There is no solution. And I don't know how long your sales cycle is, whatever you are selling, how long your projects are. Our sales cycle is pretty long, 9 to 18 months for one deal. But the projects then are between 2 to 5 years. So in comparison to the sales time and to the project time, it makes sense. But saying that, it's really often difficult that we are in that, let me say, chicken and egg situation. What is first? What should come first? But based on that, I hope I could give you a little bit of what does it mean, legacy modernization in your real life. That's why I was thinking to give you some real life examples, which everybody has already had in his life. So saying that, I hope you have not expected a hardcore technical presentation. If you want, I can do it outside with a coffee later for you. But I hope I could bring you a little bit that foundation thinking, because we always need to think about the operation model. And it is not about legacy only, it's about any business. We need to know our operation model, we need to know the governance, and we need to comply. If those three things are given, we have a great chance to succeed and also to survive in the industry. And saying that, if you have some questions, feel free to ask, because I'm done. But I don't do a mic drop, because otherwise